One letter, just a single piece of paper. It wasn't fired from a gun, nor was it dropped from a plane, but it detonated across the world, reshaping the fate of millions. And the man who helped write it was Albert Einstein. The year is 1939. Europe is breaking apart. Hitler's armies are marching across borders, and science, once the pride of Germany, is now being weaponized by the Reich. And one of Germany's greatest minds has fled. You see him here, boarding a ship to America, carrying a violin case and a suitcase, leaving a world on fire behind him. In Princeton, New Jersey, Einstein finds a semblance of peace. His days are filled with lectures, chalkboards covered in equations, and letters to friends now lost in the chaos of Europe. He had made a promise to himself. He would never again aid any nation's war machine. But then, one discovery changed absolutely everything. Deep in a Berlin laboratory, two scientists, Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann, achieved the impossible. They split the uranium atom. The news spreads like a whisper through the halls of physics, a secret shared among the brilliant minds of the era. And it reaches the ears of a man who instantly understood its terrifying potential. Leo Szilard. It is the summer of 1939. A black Buick rolls up to a quiet cottage on Long Island. Three refugee scientists step out: Szilard, Wigner, and Teller. They've come to warn the one genius who had tried to stay out of the war, the one man whose voice the world might actually listen to. Inside, Einstein looks up from his violin, a look of surprise on his face. He had no idea his quiet life was about to end. Uranium can be used for bombs, Einstein asks softly, his voice barely a whisper. Szilard nods grimly. For a long moment, the only sound that fills the silence is the distant crash of waves against the shore. Then Einstein speaks, his voice filled with a heavy resolve. Then we must warn them, before it's too late. Together, they draft a letter addressed to the President of the United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It contains a stark warning of a new kind of weapon, a bomb so powerful it could destroy entire cities in a single, blinding flash. On August 2, 1939, Einstein signs it. Just days later, Germany invades Poland, and the world plunges into war. The letter finally reaches President Roosevelt in October. He reads it carefully, the weight of its words settling in the quiet of the Oval Office. He pauses, then says 6 words that will alter the course of history forever. We must do something about this. And so it began. Thousands of the world's brightest scientists gathered in total secrecy. In hidden cities like Los Alamos, Oak Ridge, and Hanford, they worked tirelessly. They were building the unthinkable, a weapon born from equations on a chalkboard. And the man whose letter started it all was never allowed to join. Deemed a security risk, Einstein was left in his Princeton office, gazing out the window, excluded from the very project he had initiated. July 16, 1945. The New Mexico desert erupts in a light brighter than 1,000 suns. The first atomic bomb, codenamed Trinity, has been detonated. It marks the dawn of a terrifying new age. As the shockwave rips across the sand, the scientists who built it can only shield their eyes in awe and horror. Miles away, Einstein hears the news on a radio broadcast, his face a mask of disbelief. Weeks later, the world watches in horror as Hiroshima and Nagasaki vanish in fire. Over 200,000 lives are gone in an instant. When the press asks for his comment, a heartbroken Einstein says only one thing: I made one great mistake in my life when I signed that letter to President Roosevelt. The violin in his study sits untouched, a silent testament to his profound regret. But the story doesn't end there. Decades later, declassified files would reveal a cruel and devastating twist. The truth was, Nazi Germany was never close to building an atomic bomb. Their research was fragmented, chaotic, and ultimately doomed from the start. Einstein's warning, the letter he signed to save humanity from a monster, had inadvertently created the very weapon he feared most. His signature, meant as a shield, had become the seed of a mushroom cloud. One letter, one signature, and the world was never the same again. It turns out the most powerful weapon of war can be written with ink. Albert Einstein spent the rest of his life fighting for peace, tirelessly advocating for nuclear disarmament. His final words to the world still echo today, a warning that is more relevant than ever. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Thanks for watching. If you want to uncover more true stories that changed history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.